That's a little drill I like to call set and point. And I use it to help my students understand how to properly release the golf club. So let's talk about the wrist position a little bit. At the point, when you're hitting the golf ball, at the impact position. When you're striking a golf ball, it's really important that your trail hand is an extension. That simply means, when you hear that, I hate terms that confuse people, but let me explain that. Trail hand and extension means your hand is extending backward. So literally, there's a crease in your wrist. Inflection means flexing forward. So when I hit a golf ball, I want to make sure that my trail hand is an extension while my lead wrist is in flexion at the moment of impact. So often I see people dump their power because they actually reverse that. They get their lead hand in extension while their trail wrist is in flexion. So it looks like that. That's powerless. And many people, they release the club too early and they get into that position. You should get in that position, but it's supposed to happen way up here, not down here. So the drill I like is get people to take the club halfway back and set the club. So there's an angle there. So I don't want to be here. There's no energy. I set the club. I've loaded my back leg. I have some pressure here, some power. I come down and I practice that proper release position. You know, you hear a lot of good players talk about knuckles down of their lead hand. So the knuckles rotate and actually point down. A very poor position would be if the knuckles actually point up. So I want to go back halfway. I come down. I practice that position, kind of rolling my knuckles into the ground. I turn the corner and I point. Now at that point, I'm trying to make sure the club points at the ball or at the target. My belt buckle points at the target and the club points at me. So it's a great, when I say set and point, you're doing three things. You're literally pointing the club at the target, butt of the club points at you, belt buckle points at the target. You're trying to hold that wrist position to this stage. After that position, if you kept going, you would go into the finish where the lead hand is actually going into extension. So set and point, one more time. Get set up. I like to do this with a gap wedge usually. Teach people to do it. Half shot. Come through. Really hold that lead wrist into flexion as the club rotates into the golf ball, and you'll train yourself a good impact position and how to release the club properly.